إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر والله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله اللهم صل على محمد أشهد أن محمد رسول الله اللهم صل على محمد أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا ولي الله وصي رسول الله وخليفته بلا فاصل اللهم صل على محمد أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا حجة الله كرم الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر والله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم اجعل قلبي بارا وعملي سارا وعشي كارا ورزقي دارا وأولادي أبرارا واجعل عند قبر نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم مستقرا وقرارا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم صل
صلوا على النبي اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم محمد صل على وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد أما بعد Good Friday. We are in Good Friday. According to Muslims, all Fridays are good. And today, for the Muslims living in the Western world, especially the Christian world, is Good Friday. Although there are differences of opinion about this as well within Christianity, Orthodox have a different opinion and Catholics have different opinion and others have different opinions. And we as Muslims also have our own opinion. So first of all, Friday is a blessed day for all of us as Muslims, and it is considered as one of the days of Eid. Actually, it has been mentioned as a day of celebration. Why? Because it's the day of holiday according to Islamic system, although many Muslim countries don't even follow that, and only few countries have Juma as the holiday. But from Islamic point of view, Juma, and there is a verse of Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed the whole surah about Jum'ah and has mentioned that when Jum'ah comes, leave your business and everything aside and go for Friday prayers. And Surah Juma itself is a reason to believe and say that Jum'ah would be wajib if the Imam and the leader was or were infallible. So definitely when Imam Mahdi Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajahu comes, it will be an obligation for all of us to attend Jum'ah prayers. Jum'ah always had importance, but in the Shia Muslim world it lost its importance, and there was a reason for that, because there was a period when the Khulafa used to force the leaders of Jum'ah to curse Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib and say things against Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, and Jum'ah had become a source to use for the publicity of the oppressive rulers. So therefore the ulama said it's not an obligation during the occultation of Imam Mahdi Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajahu, but definitely it will become an obligation when Imam Mahdi Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajahu comes. And at present all Maraja Taqleed give you a choice. You can do Jum'ah and not do Salat Zuhr, or you could do Jum'ah as mustahab intention and do Zuhr with Furada, not with Jama'at. If you have attended Jum'ah, then you are not allowed to have Jama'at of Zuhr prayers. You can do it individually. And if you are not attending Jum'ah, it is also recommended that don't do your Zuhr prayers on time. Wait until some time passes, then you do Zuhr prayers at home. Anyway, these are just recommendations. And apart from this, Jum'ah should be considered as Eid, and I have mentioned this before. It is the elders, especially the family elders' responsibility to make Jum'ah become a special day. Ladies should make a special meal and make the children feel that this is a special day, and you will get a special meal, or give the father should give the gifts to the children and take sweets at home, make them feel that it is different day, just like Sunday is for the Christian, and a special meal should be cooked so they realize that this is a blessed day. That is how Jum'ah should be remembered. And of course Salatul Jum'ah, dua, prayers, remembering the deceased and elders, and all of that are our obligations and responsibility. Now let's come back to Good Friday. Why Good Friday is Good Friday and not other Fridays are not good? Well, there is a reason. First of all, the real Good Friday was not even Christian or Jewish. It is a pagan ritual that existed before Christianity and Judaism. Then they tried to give a color of Jewish color, then they tried to give it a Christian color, and then it became famous as the day when, according to Christians, Jesus Christ was given birth again, or the whole Easter holidays is to do with Jesus Christ going on the cross and then coming back. And again, there is a lot of difference within Christians. Some say within 7 hours he was resurrected. Others say 1 day. Others say 2 days. Some say 3 days. Some say 3 months. Some say 90 days. So there are so many different opinions. But definitely everything started from Wednesday before Good Friday. Ash Wednesday, or what they call something. They have these kind of celebrations in the Christians. And then Good Friday, and after Good Friday, what is common between Catholics? 3 days later, Jesus was resurrected. Uh, Now let's see what Islam says and what Quran says about Jesus Christ. There is a lot that has been discussed about Jesus or Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala considers Isa as one of the most respected and prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he has a special status. According to Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned Jesus as Ruhullah, Kalimatullah, or a being assisted, helped by the Spirit of Allah, Ruhul Qudus. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Jesus Christ as a prophet or as a creation which is or who was quite similar to Hazrat Adam, because Hazrat Adam was created from scratch, and Jesus Christ has a similarity to that compared to Hazrat Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. And we believe that Jesus was born without father, and Hazrat Maryam conceived Jesus Christ miraculously. And what Quran says and what Islamic teachings describe about the conceiving of how Hazrat Isa was conceived was that she suddenly started to have pains, and then she was instructed to go to a date tree, and she shook the date tree and the dates dropped and she ate them, and then she was pregnant and she conceived the child, and she didn't know how to describe and tell people how she conceived the child without being married. And but Quran says that this was what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted, and for Allah we read Surah Yasin and other surahs in Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly says, if Allah wants to say kun fayakun. Kun means if Allah wants to say to something to be, it will be there. And so if God has that power, then of course he can do anything. He can create Adam and Eve, and he can also create Jesus without father. But now this entirely depends how you believe in God, how much your iman and faith is in God. If your iman and faith in God is strong, you will believe this, and if your iman and faith in God is not strong, you will not only not believe this, you would not believe many other things and would not consider as important. But this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions not only in Quran, in Bible, in Torah, in all divine books, that Allah is a supreme creator, supreme being. None is above God, and the God who is supreme can do anything. He doesn't have a physical body. He doesn't have father. He doesn't have mother. He doesn't have children. So these are the explanations that have been given about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if we believe Quran is the final revelation of God, and whatever is in Quran is true, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself regarding Quran says, Inna nahnu nazzalna zikra wa nahnu lahu lahafizun. We have revealed this book, Quran, and we will protect it. So if and we believe that Allah's promises are not false. He is protecting, and Quran has been protected. So there had been so many attempts to distort the image of Quran or present the Quran in a different way. A few years ago, Israel printed a Quran with pictures of naked angels and things like that, and they switched the ayats forward and backward and tried to introduce it to Quran as a more presentable Quran, but it didn't work. And the Quran that we believe is what it was revealed on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, uh, and and it's still same. Shia, Sunni, all Muslims of the world are at least unanimous and united on this point of view that Quran is unique and protected and presented as the final revelation of God. So, in Quran again regarding Jesus, we find many other ayats in which the birth of Jesus and his mother, and then Jesus saying that I am not, I am a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which also uh, proves that what Christians believe that he was son of God is not true. So this is another disagreement. Anyway, now I don't want to go into those details, but I would like to mention that Easter, or this Easter, is one of the uh, celebration or Christian festivals or whatever you call, is the only thing that we don't agree with Christians. I mean, there are 2 or 3 points that we don't agree with Christians. First of all, we don't agree with them that he is Son of God. We don't agree with them that he was crucified. And we do agree with them that he will be resurrected, and we are all waiting for the appearance of Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. Our belief is that he will come and finally, with the assistance and help of Hazrat Imam Mahdi ajallahu ta'ala. I should say actually other way around. Imam Mahdi will come and Jesus Christ would assist Imam Mahdi ajallahu ta'ala farajuhu, and there are narrations and riwayats that Jesus will pray behind Imam Mahdi ajallahu ta'ala farajuhu. This reminds me of an incident. I was having a TV program with a Christian leader, and I mentioned this, and then he was very quick and picked on this point. He said, but Jesus is prophet. How can prophet pray behind an imam? The prophet should be put forward and imam should pray behind him. I said, well, you could believe that. I cannot argue with you, but this is our belief, is that Imam Zaman is someone who had been promised not only in Quran, but from the first prophet, from Adam. This message was given to the followers that this is how the world is going to come to an end. That people at the time of Adam had to believe in Hazrat Adam and the prophethood of all future prophets, including Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also they should have believed in the appearance of Imam Mahdi or imamat of Imam Mahdi ajallallahu ta'ala farajuhu, and then finally the world will come to an end with Qiyamah, the day of, and then after that, after Qiyamah, people will be led towards the day of judgment. Everybody will be judged, and they will be given the reward or punishment according to what they did during their lifetime. So, since we are living in this part of the world, it is important that we educate ourselves and keep ourselves aware of these points, and especially our children face. I mean, I remember since I came to UK, one of the seasons in which schools invite our children to take part in lots of plays and activities is during the Easter. I think even it's more than Christmas. During Christmas they have holiday and they go home and that's it. But for Easter there is a lot of preparation done in schools, and our Muslim children are encouraged to take part in the plays that Christians believe. So whether we like it or not, their way of thinking and belief regarding Jesus Christ is transmitted to or transferred to our children, and if we don't explain to them, especially in madrasas, during these days, we should have extra activities where we can educate our children our version of belief regarding Jesus Christ, so when they are growing up in the society, they know how to deal and answer these questions. So from that point of view, yes, it is important. But at Christmas, you might remember that I gave khutbah, and we could say congratulations for the birth of Jesus. Although I did mention that even even the Christmas has pagan roots. The real date of birth of Jesus Christ is not what they have unanimously decided. And in eastern part of the world, the day of Christmas is different, totally different day. And in the western part of the world, especially in Catholics, Christmas is the day they celebrate as the day of birth of Jesus Christ. But because we believe in Jesus Christ and we do believe in the birth of Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, he is one of the great prophets of Islam. And if we did not believe in Jesus Christ, we cannot be Muslim. When people come to me to embrace Islam, one of the points, especially if they're Christians, I ask them is that, were you born as a Christian? They said yes. They say usually yes. Although quite a lot of Christians nowadays, they don't even know what they believe. If you ask them what do you believe, they say we are a member of Church of England. That's it, nothing else. But I still, according to Islamic teachings, if somebody comes and says I'm Christian, I should take his or her word and accept them as Christian. And this is the fatwa of all Maraji Taqleed, because majority of Maraji Taqleed consider Christians as Tahir. And when people ask them what is the criteria, nowadays the Christians even don't know what they believe. They do whatever they like to do, and if you ask them, are you Christian, they would just say we are a member of Church of England, and that's it. So the Maraji Taqleed say as long as they say we are Christian, that's it. Same rule for Muslim. I mean, you cannot declare fatwa of kufr of any Muslim brother just like that. If anybody says I'm Muslim, he has all the rights, or she has all the rights. If they die and the body is left on the ground and Muslims don't take care of the funeral of that person, they will be questioned on the Day of Judgment, because they have the duty to do the funeral of a Muslim who claimed to be Muslim, unless the person comes and declares I'm totally against Allah and leave religion of Islam, and I declare to be non-Muslim, then you don't have any obligation towards that. But even if a person who is drunk, who takes drugs, and he does not practice any religion of Islam, and he claims to be Muslim, our duty and responsibility is to treat him as a Muslim, especially at the time of burial. But we are allowed to sort of change a part of dua or salat that we make for the deceased. There is a sentence we say, Allahumma inna la na'lamu minhu illa khayra. The translation of that is, oh God, we don't know anything but good about this person. If you're doing the funeral of a well-known, openly known corrupt person, you are allowed to omit this sentence, because you know what the person was. So you are allowed to do that. But again, I would say give benefit of doubt. Inshallah, the person was practicing Muslim, or inshallah he was believer. So we do the funeral and we recite that dua as well, saying Allahumma inna la na'lamu minhu illa khayra, or minha if the lady is there, minha illa khayra. Oh God, we don't know anything but good about. And that's why it is recommended people, if they knew anything, they cover it, and they don't disclose the bad habits or wrongdoings of the person who's deceased, and remember this in their behavior. We should do that while they are living with us. I mean, we should respect each other. If we know each other's secret, we should not disclose each other's secret in public. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has covered somebody's mistakes, who are we to disclose it in front of people? And I did mention few weeks ago that in Islam we don't have this system of confessing in front of human being about our sins. If we do sins and do mistakes by mistake, we are not infallible. We can do something wrong. We could be tempted to do something wrong. But if by mistake we end up doing something wrong, our duty is not to go and publicize it and announce it and declare it, oh, I've done something wrong, oh, I've done something wrong. Because Islam says that preaching of a wrong behavior is sin itself. If I do something wrong and then go and tell, for God forbid, I went and drank alcohol, and if I go and tell 100 other people, those 100 people who would listen to me, for if Maulana can do that, I can do it as well. So it breaks the importance of the sin, any graveness of the sin in front of I, and that is considered as sin as well. So we should not do that. Anyway, so I pray, we are running out of time. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may Allah bless this Juma, this Good Friday, with Islamic blessings for all of us and all humanity, and may Allah guide all human beings to follow the right and only one path, that is submission to the will of God, and that is Islam. And may Allah count us amongst the true supporters of Imam Mahdi Ajjalallah Ta'ala Farajahu, and may Allah count us and raise us amongst the people who will help Imam Mahdi Ajjalallah Ta'ala Farajahu. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. صلوات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا بالقاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، ولعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. The other common thing between Easter and this year especially is Ramadan, fasting. Apparently Christians are supposed to fast. Even the Jewish have this season of fasting for them. So this year Easter has come in the middle of fasting, if we believe in it. First of all, we don't believe according to Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected Jesus Christ from being executed or put on the cross. So that is what we believe, and we do not believe that he was crucified. It was not necessary to be crucified for him, for others, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not punish us or someone else or even Imam or Prophet for the sake of our sins. This is what they believe. He had to sacrifice himself, so we are forgiven. We all are responsible individually for our acts and deeds, and whatever we do, we will be questionable on the day of judgment for what we did, not someone else, even if that someone else is a prophet or imam or anyone else. So that's not that is what we believe, and we disagree from this point. There is only one sect of the Muslims, so-called Muslims, who somehow disagree with this, and that is Ahmadis and Qadianis. Qadianis, because if they somehow believe that he lived for a while and then died, and they don't know where. Some even mention he's buried somewhere. And the reason for that is to justify the imamat of their own Khalifa. So they believe, first they declared that after Hazrat Muhammad there was another prophet that was called Ahmad, and then Ahmad was supposed to be the last prophet. He died. Then they said no, he wasn't the last prophet. He wasn't the last prophet after Muhammad, but he was the Imam, Imam Zaman. Then Imam Zaman died as well. So then they said, okay, now we have the Khalifa of Imam Zaman. So now they are on the fifth Khalifa, and they have their own reasoning to justify their own faith, to not to believe in the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, the way Quran and all other Muslims, Sunni and Shia, describe his existence. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let's not forget our infallible Imams. And yesterday was Imam Hassan Mushtaba's birth anniversary. Ma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He is the Imam regarding whom Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had mentioned that Al-Hasan wal-Husayn imamani qama aw qa'ada. Hassan and Hussein are both imams and leaders, whether they stand up or sit down. When they say stand up and sit down, it doesn't mean standing up and sitting down. It means if they decide to make a stand against someone, they are both imams, and if they decide to make a peace treaty, they are both imams. Imam Hassan is imam during his period of time with his peace treaty, and Imam Hussein is imam. Wajibul ita'a means obligatory for all the followers of the period to obey him as an imam who stood in front of the corrupt leaders of the time and sacrificed his life. Both of them sacrificed their life, and Imam Hassan was poisoned and his body was attacked by the arrows of the enemies of Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wasalam, and Imam Hussein was killed in the plains of Karbala. May Allah count us amongst the true followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam and followers of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and we declare our allegiance to all prophets from Adam to Muhammad, and we also declare our loyalty to Hazrat Khadija, Hazrat Fatima al-Zahra salawatullah alayha, as infallible lady Fatima Zahra salawatullah alayha, and we declare our allegiance and do bay'ah with Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam as our first and bila fasl leader after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and Imam Hassan Mushtaba, Imam Hussein, Imam Zainul Abidin, Imam Muhammad Baqir, Imam Ja'far Sadiq, Imam Musa Al-Kadhim, Imam Ali ibn Musa Al-Rada, Imam Muhammad Taqi, Imam Ali Al-Naqi, Imam Hassan Al-Askari, Imam Muhammad Al-Mahdi Ajjalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. May Allah salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. May Allah count us amongst the true followers and supporters of all these infallible leaders, and may Allah count us amongst the people who would be raised with infallible leaders on the day of judgment as their supporters. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwa Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Salawat.
Brothers, can you please shoulder to shoulder today and to your left to start with, and please fill up all the gaps. And for ladies, if there are any more ladies coming in, they can go into the ladies' hall as well, but just make sure that you have connection from the by the door. So there are still people coming in, so please, when you stand up, just fill up the gaps nicely, shoulder to shoulder.
There is space on this side, quite a few spaces here.
इसको और आगे कर दें. हाँ, थोड़ा सा और आगे कर. हाँ, I can just do, yeah. It wouldn't work. Okay.
Thank you. Please do stand up and come as forward as you can.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أشهد أن عليا وأولاده المعصومين حجج الله عليهم الصلاة والسلام حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه أستغفر الله ربي من كل ذنب وأتوب إليه صلاة الجمعة قربة إلى الله الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا وعافنا واعف عنا في الدنيا والآخرة إنك على كل شيء قدير الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر بحول الله وقوته يقوم ويقعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار واحشرنا مع الأبرار الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده رب صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم وفرجنا بهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين الله أكبر الحمد لله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد تسبيحات فاطمة الزهراء صلوات الله عليها.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله أول قبل الإنشاء والأحياء، والآخرة بعد فناء الأشياء، العليم الذي لا ينسى من ذكره ولا ينقص من شكره ولا يخيب من دعاه ولا يقطع رجاء من رجاه. اللهم إني أشهدك وكفى بك شهيدا، وأشهد جميع ملائكتك وسكان سماواتك وحملة عرشك ومن بعثت من أنبيائك ورسلك وأنشأت من أصناف خلقك، أني أشهد أنك أنت الله لا إله إلا أنت وحدك لا شريك لك ولا عديل ولا خلف لقولك ولا تبديل، وأن محمدا صلى الله عليه وآله عبدك ورسولك أدى ما حملته إلى العباد وجاهد في الله عز وجل حق الجهاد، وأنه بشر بما هو حق من الثواب، وأنذر بما هو صدق من العقاب. اللهم ثبتني على دينك ما أحييتني، ولا تزغ قلبي بعد إذ هديتني، وهب لي من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. صل على محمد وآل محمد، واجعلني من أتباعه وشيعته، واحشرني في زمرته، ووفقني لأداء فرض الجمعات وما أوجبت علي فيها من الطاعات، وقسمت لأهلها من العطاء في يوم الجزاء، إنك أنت العزيز الحكيم.
Assalamu alaikum jamian wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please recite Surah Fatiha for the marhumin of all here present and kulli marhum mu'minin wal mu'minat. Also requested is us remembering our mu'minin, mu'minat who are either unwell or suffering today with dua shifa, please. Bismillah. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, everyone is with Rosa. This is just for the little kids I see here. If they are not fasting, we have some biscuits out there as tabarruk for them, and it's not an excuse for you to break your fast. Finally, for those of you who don't know, it's my usual mantra, donations, please. I see a good crowd here today. If every one of you put a coin in that box, inshallah, we'll be all right. Well, notes are even better because that box is not very strong. We don't want it to.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أشهد أن عليا وأولاده المعصومين حجج الله عليهم الصلاة والسلام. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. أستغفر الله ربي من كل ذنب وأتوب إليه. صلاة العصر فرقت واجب قربة إلى الله. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار واحشرنا مع الأبرار. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم وفرجنا بهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. تسبيحات فاطمة الزهراء صلوات الله عليها.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم أدخل على أهل القبور السرور. اللهم أغن كل فقير. اللهم أشف كل جائع. اللهم اكس كل أريان. اللهم اقض دين كل مدين. اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب. اللهم رد كل غريب. اللهم فك كل أسير. اللهم أصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم أصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقضي عنا الدين واغننا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير. السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا نبي الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين وسيد الوسيين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، خصوصا سيدي مولى أبو الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين وأختك زينب بنتك السكينة. السلام عليك شهداء كربلاء ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولى وابن مولى. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء وبعيد المدى. السلطان أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا، كن شفيئنا وشفيء والدي في يوم الجزاء. السلام عليك وعلى أختك فاطمة المعصومة ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا حجة الله في أرضه. السلام عليك يا عين الله في خلقه. السلام عليك يا نور الله الذي يهتدي به المهتدون ويفرج عن المؤمنين. السلام عليك أيها المهذب الخائف. السلام عليك أيها الولي الناصح. السلام عليك يا سفينة النجاة. السلام عليك يا عين الحياة. السلام عليك صلى الله عليك وعلى آل بيتك الطيبين الطاهرين. السلام عليك عجل الله لك ما وعدك من النصر وظهور العام. السلام عليك يا مولاي أنا مولاك عارف بعلاك وأقراك أتقرب إلى الله تعالى بك وبآل بيتك وانتظر ظهورك وظهور الحق على يديك. وأسأل الله أن يصلي على محمد وآل محمد وأن يجعلني من المنتظرين لك والتابعين والناصرين لك على أعدائك والمستشهدين بين يديك في جملة أوليائك يا مولاي يا صاحب الزمان. صلوات الله عليك وعلى آل بيتك. هذا يوم الجمعة وهو يومك متوقع فيه ظهورك والفرج فيه للمؤمنين على يديك وقتل الكافرين بسيفك. وأنا يا مولاي فيه ضيفك وجارك وأنت يا مولاي قريم من أولاد القرام ومعمور بالضيافة والإجارة فاضفني وأجرني. صلوات الله عليك وعلى أهل بيتك الطيبين الطاهرين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك
ابن حسن صلواتك عليه وعليهم في هذه الساعة في كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائلا ولا استوى ودليا وأينا حتى تسكنه وبقى طوى وتمتعه بها تمي ووفقك يا